All right. Welcome, everybody. This is game one of the. Are we in the semifinals? We might be in the semifinals. I'm playing Grant. That's not actually his avatar. Grant just doesn't really have an avatar. I guess that's not true. He's got this Half-Life one. I could be using that instead. He's also in tabletop TNG, which I believe stands for the grant. Yep, the grant. That's right. Here we go. All right. I'm not going to re-record that. You guys are stuck with that intro. We rolled, and I rolled for Rebs first. So I'm playing Grant in the semifinals or the semi-semis or the quarterfinals or whatever that's called. We roll ROTE Deployment. ROTE Deployment with Wombat as rebels. First ROTE Deployment I have played on either side of the board, which I don't love because as inexperienced as I am with the rebels, I'm even less experienced with ROTE Deployment. So Grant does what I kind of do, which is kind of three large groups. The largest on the Death Star under construction, and you have to assume he's going to go to Utapau right away. I do have Bothawi, and he's not putting anything in Ryloth, so it feels like maybe I go ground here. I don't know. It has also been 3 weeks since I've played this game, so while I remember the end result, I do not necessarily remember the beginning result. But my thought here is maybe if I put dudes in Geonosis, that is a good thing. Okay. Maybe I'm putting the base in Ryloth. I'm not sure. This was also streamed on Telegram, I believe, through our compatriots over on the European Russian side of the world. So maybe if you're on the Telegram channel, you can check that out too. I think it's got some commentary. I have not watched it. If somebody has it, go ahead and pin it in the link. That'd be pretty cool. All right. Geonosis. So here's what I think I'm thinking. By putting everything in Geonosis, or putting all that stuff in Geonosis, it makes it less likely for the Empire to just walk in with an assault carrier because I could take care of it, right? So if that's the case, then maybe that Star Destroyer has to come, and then Saw. We are not doubling up on Saw with ROTE Deployment. That seems like a terrible idea, both to past Wombat and current Wombat. And instead it's C-3PO. Okay. For those of you who have not seen a lot of ROTE Deployment, the reason why ROTE Deployment can happen here is my favorite system that I can never pronounce right. Salakami is salami is neutral, and Mon Cal is loyal. So by allowing the Empire to put the Death Star under construction in Dagobah, it makes it so that the rebels likely will just have a single Mon Cal build, plus maybe a second one if they have a card, which is similar to what happens in base deployment. There is some debate on Discord on whether or not that's how that's supposed to work, but that's the agreed upon rules for the tournament here. So let's see what the right base pick here is. So Dantooine maybe is what I'm thinking. Nope. Ilum. Wow, Ilum. Wombat with the Ilum pick. That does seem kind of right because there's only a single Star Destroyer over there. And I think by putting this initial deployment force out, it is forcing the Corellian Star Destroyer to hedge more towards Endor. So if I'm the Empire, I'm visualizing Corellia covering the Endor region, the Dagobah Star Destroyer covering up to Tatooine, and one other Star Destroyer for the entire rest of the map. And Dantooine seems like the logical pick, which is why I went one off with Ilum. I do have Mothma's card, so I think it is worth playing that right away in Utapau, even if it's going to result in a captured Mothma. It does make it harder to build loyalty on Utapau. It does get a Moncal in the queue. The only other angle here is if I'm in Ilum and I manage not to get found for a while, maybe there's a world where I use Mothma's card to, yeah, always false order Vader. Don't do Tarkin. I mean, Tarkin's mission is a disaster, but Vader has too many other things he can do, such as Teg moves to Utapau, Vader captures Mothma, and then chaos ensues. If you think I should have targeted Tarkin there instead, let me know. We are putting the standard units out on Utapau, and I will build another Moncal here at the end of the turn, which also seems good. Rule by fear for Tarkin and Corellia. Okie dokie. Guess maybe I should have kept Leia back here. I don't know. I do have Long War for my starting mission, so I don't need to be too crazy here. I put loyalty on top and the combat objective on the bottom. Fine. Doesn't matter too much there. I wonder what Vader was on if Tarkin was on Rule by Fear. Nothing good for sure. I didn't actually notice what deck Grant was playing, and to be honest, I don't remember. Grant does like the ROTE deck, so he might be on the Imperial ROTE deck, which is also the deck I'm less familiar with as an Imperial player. So he might just be going for that's interesting. I don't know what I thought he was on, but I don't think I thought he was on Alliance. Okay, so thought process is by building loyalty in Geonosis, I'll get a shield bunker. Maybe I should have done 2 shield bunkers. And then Riken with the sabotage on Mustafar. Okay. Didn't want to try it on Corellia, just took the sure thing. Yeah, that Star Destroyer has to go to Moncal. I think that's also what I was thinking on why Ilum might be a good spot. Now, he did move an assault carrier down to Ord. Seems fine. I do have a hit and run right away for it, which also seems good. Okay. Maydeen or Trust in the Force. I do like Chirrut, but I do like killing the Death Star too. And Maydeen gives me the Death Star option, whereas Chirrut's just a good leader overall. So there we go. Krennic. Okay. With Krennic's directive from Lord Vader. So he's going to get to look at my objectives, and he will likely put the level 2 objective in the middle so he can keep track of them. That's my guess. So I got a speeder built and a shield bunker. I sort of, in hindsight, think it would have been interesting had I used Mothma's card in Bespin to get an extra speeder on the queue. I'd have 4 speeders in the base currently. I don't know how much that would change the game, but let's keep an eye on that thought process. If it were a casual game, I think I would have tried that, but it seems like the wrong time to try things for sure. See, and had I picked Decisive Victory, I might have been able to go after Utapau like right away instead of regional loyalty. But then again, I only need one more loyalty in Ryloth, and I'm about to clean that whole sector off, so that also seems fine. So current me is thinking, let's attack Rhodia, clear that off, build loyalty there, run a hit and run on Ord Mantell's assault carrier, but not do it right away. Because if you do it right away, it sort of gives away that you're in Ilum. You want to be like, well, because I mean, if you're the Empire, that's not the very first move you're going to do, right? You're not going to be like, I have to get this assault carrier to Ilum. So I think I can wait on the hit and run and be a little bit less obvious with my moves. But yeah, I kind of like going to Rhodia because that protects Bothui a little bit better. It forces his Seleucami fleet over, and you'll notice I did deploy a Y-Wing in Moncal. That's to try to encourage him to move the Star Destroyer into Moncal, which I don't think he'll do. But if he does move just an assault carrier, that's kind of the same function as spending a leader to get rid of the assault carrier. So I'm trying to give him some choices here. So I think build alliance, sabotage, infiltrate's fine. And one to attack and one to block. I don't even think you have to infiltrate with Long War here, to tell you the truth. I mean, you put the level 2 on top, so you have to assume that's time for peace, and you have to assume you don't want time for peace, but maybe you do. Like, is time for peace good if you get it this early? And you can be like, I'm just not going to deploy my stuff. That seems bad. Okay, 3 back for him. Whatever Vader was on, it seems like he didn't need to necessarily play it 2 turns in a row. And we don't know what it was, we just know it wasn't Rule by Fear. So it was either a good diplomacy card or a capture. I feel like it was probably a capture. All right. So again, don't open with the hit and run. Yep. Yeah, time for peace and threaten the core. So I'll take threaten the core, drop time for peace. So now he knows I am thinking about threaten the core. Plus, with a base in Ilum, threaten the core is actually pretty good. The Emperor coming in to deal with Geonosis. Fine. Maybe I should have opened by attacking Ryloth. Or not Ryloth, Rhodia. Maybe not, though, because... yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think attacking first would have been good, or at least clearing off the... well, he couldn't clear off the Y-Wing because he had a shield bunker there, right? Alright. So 2 to kill that assault carrier. He blows up a ground unit. That's fine. Maybe I should have used Leia there, but I guess I wanted to block whatever Krennic was doing. I think we play hold them back here to blow up a tank. Oh yeah, he has the cancel card. Why did I do that? I made that exact same mistake in the game too. Didn't realize he had the interceptor or the striker and walked in to hold them back. Too bad. All right. Could totally confront here. I think it's worth confronting just for the, yeah, for the 2 in 6 chance that you get a kill. Nope. All right. Old Wombat took the same risk. So Geonosis is subjugated. Oh no, it's not subjugated. It's just blocked by a striker. So I could free it up with a hit and run. That could be fun. Let's see what else he does with that Star Destroyer first. Nope, I'm just doing it now, I guess. Hit and run. So I'm like pretending to think about it, but there's really no world where I don't take the Ilum bound assault carrier. But if you click a few times and make them think, like, they're like, well, he's not sure what to do. Maybe he's subconsciously thinking the base is not an Ilum. All right, got another assault carrier coming into my Y-wing. Current Wombat thinks ion cannon to kill that is the right move. Yep. Okay. This is not the highest of chances because he's got like a 1 in 3 chance to heal, which he did not do. I missed, but because he didn't play the super laser card to guarantee the kill, like now I get another chance, right? So now he plays the laser card to kill me, and now I kill his carrier. All right, so 2 Y-wings down, 2 carriers down, 3 carriers down. Feeling good. I did block one of his carriers from deploying last turn, so he's only got 1 on the queue. Dropping a sabotage here seems inconspicuous because Madine's already there, and I'm blocking a carrier, and I'm blocking the area right next to the base. Okay, R&D, good. Mothma builds in Nalhada, I predict. Oh yeah, Rhodia, right. Gotta get our points. Yeah, I didn't want to walk into propaganda or something like that next turn. Just felt good to get some points scored right away. So I'd say I'm off to a pretty good start. Got a bunker I'm about to deploy. He's recruiting Boba Fett. Interesting. And to Toydaria. Seems reasonable. All right. All right, all right. Threaten the core. We knew that was coming. We have Long War. We're not too worried about it. We managed to not take Dagobah out of the probe deck originally, so Grant's rectifying that. Grant and I have probably played, I don't know, 100 games, maybe 100 games of Rebellion together. So we're very familiar with each other's nonsense. Lando is the obvious pick here. Nobody needs Han Solo. Everybody needs Lando. Piet's good too. Piet's got that no retreat card that can throw your timing off, almost in some ways almost like an anti-Ozzel card. Rebs like to attack out and then retreat back to the base. So if they attack out, you can hold them there with Piet, which is sometimes pretty good. I guess he puts a hole in their gas tank or something. They can't hyperspace back. Okay. One of the difficult things about the ROTE deck is it's not entirely easy to draw additional objectives, because if you don't start with Dodonna's plan, or Dodonna's action card, which is like a mediocre action card, but drawing objectives is how you win, and you don't get covert operations with the ROTE deck, So those two things are not super helpful for drawing objectives. Heist is good for drawing objectives though. But I don't really want to heist that last level 1. We know it's the best of the 3 cards, but what does that mean? It means it's probably not defend the people or base defenses, right? So if that's the case, maybe we heist right now and get a half decent card. We know it's not decisive victory, so it's probably like crippling blow or cut supply lines. But if it's cut supply lines and he knows we have it, then that's maybe less good. All right. Demolition. Okay. Demolition with 2 leaders. That definitely seems suspicious. So if I'm the Empire, I'm keeping Vader back to block whatever those 2 Yahoos are on, unless it's a rapid, obviously. Boba Fett in play. Very good. And then the Death Star proper comes out next turn. Okay, so what are we thinking here? We're thinking open up with demolition, get some units off the queue. Then probably block whatever mission he plays, do some infiltrating. Infiltrate first and then heist. I'd almost say heist and then infiltrate. Because again, you've got long war. So even if he was tricky and you somehow drew defend the people, I mean, you can get rid of that. So fast forward a little bit, and here we are. Vader's also on a mission, and I'm going to go ahead and run demolition here to get rid of the capital ships, and he's going to play Piet in Yavin. So I think about blocking here, and I decide not to try to minimize the chance that I get bountied. So I tell him that the base is not in Yavin. Okay. So now what to do? Infiltrate seems right, and I can infiltrate where Utapau is because I've got Maydeen and Riken there too. That'll help minimize the effect of a capture. So, yeah. Put the level 1 back on top, I think. Nope. Nope, I go for the level 2 instead. Okay, fair. Emperor making a move off to Dantooine, checking Dantooine. Seems like a reasonable chance here. It's good to get some of these side options eliminated so you can, put some pressure on the base. Grant knows I like to start away from the Death Star. So Yavin and Dantooine are pretty much the 2 farthest places away. So putting priority on revealing the base out there is good, especially because the Star Destroyer is in Toydaria right now. So if the base was there, it's not too late to kind of double that back, move the other one in from Alderaan. Okie dokie. Heist on the Death Star. Now I have to actually heist on the Death Star. I don't have a choice of running it somewhere else. So he does get the capture off. And that, I probably could have thought about that a little bit better. Taking no one left behind seems a little bit of a greedy move here when I know that basically when Vader and Boba are on missions, it's almost one of them's almost always a capture. So I probably should have waited. Maybe I could have played Leia into Utapau first, but he had enough leaders to wait me out, and I didn't really want to get Mothma bountied, so I'll go ahead and play Mothma in Bespin to get another speeder on the board because I'm definitely leaning towards wanting speeders. And then Leia attacks the TIE Striker to free up Geonosis is sort of the idea here. So he kills the Y-Wing, I kill the Striker, I free up Geonosis. That's going to give me another base build here, like a shield bunker or something, which is nice. So I can have 2 shield bunkers, 4 speeders. That's feeling like a pretty solid base as long as I don't get lasered. So at this point, feeling pretty good. Also, I am finishing filming this. I started editing it before my second game was played that I already released. So I do realize I'm releasing these out of order. So no spoiler alerts in case you held off to watch this one first. But the second game is a live stream, which is a fun one. Okay, Rule by Fear with Vader. At least it's not capture torture, so I guess that's good. Feel pretty lucky about that. Okay, Rule by Fear on Ord. That's a little unnerving for me, so okay. Because I'm captured, I'll just go ahead and drop the card I infiltrated and then heisted into Long War just to make that not a thing anymore. So hindsight, I think heist first because I had Long War, and then infiltrate later was probably the better move, but whatever. See if it ends up making a difference or not. All right, so Son of Skywalker could be good for a rescue, or Obi-Wan. I don't love either of these options, especially when I've already got Maydeen as a 3-strength general. I'm sort of debating on making a run and getting Luke Skywalker to Jedi Master here, but I don't know. Otherwise, I'm not going to have a 3-strength. Or at least chances are I won't have a 3-strength Admiral. So just going with Obi-Wan, I guess. I don't want to risk, and then Krennic's Finest comes out, and that would feel bad for, like, if Luke got captured in turn. That seems like a disaster. All right, well, let's get my speeder out. Let's get the shield bunker out. Let's get these Mon Cals on the queue. There's always a little bit of a debate on this turn when you have multiple Mon Cals what the right move is. Like, the safest play is to put Mon Cals in the base. The other thing you can do is drop a Nebulon in the base, which then threatens the Death Star, but I also just discarded my level 2 objective, so, I don't know. The other thing you can do is you can put things in Ryloth with the intention of rapiding them back to the base. So like I could put the 2 Mon Cals in Ryloth, and then, assuming they don't get Soon-tiered, which I don't think he has Soon-tier, assuming they don't get Soon-tiered, then you can rapid mob them back to the hidden base. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. This is one of the areas where I lack some expertise at Rebels. So this deployment phases Empire, I'd feel pretty confident about where to deploy my stuff. But I'm holding on to Death Star plans. I have planned the assault. The Death Star is on the table. He did build a shield bunker, so I'm assuming he's going under there. I could ambush it with Maydeen. I don't know. So I go with the X-Wing Nebulon deploy, which screams, hey, your Death Star's in trouble when that's the deployment. And then I'll put some pressure on Geonosis. I'll keep the Mon Cals in the queue. I think in hindsight, I should have deployed them on Ryloth with the speeder and the soldier. I mean, the biggest risk I'm taking there is that Ryloth gets planetaried, but I already have 3 speeders in the base, and getting more by rapid would be good. So I don't know. I think that deployment might have been a mistake, but I can go for the Death Star here. So he shield bunkered in Dagobah, but there's only one. So I can ambush the shield bunker and then open with plan the assault, and I don't have to worry about Boba Fett wear. Sometimes if the Death Star is in a populous system and you do a move like that, so if it was in like Utapau, for example, and I ambush and I have Dodonna and Wedge, let's say, on plan the assault, and he smells it coming, he could play Boba Fett wear, but Boba Fett wear can only be played in an Imperial system, which is not Dagobah. So, all right, here comes Madine. Get rid of the shield bunker. Here comes playing the assault with Dodonna. He could have Boba Fett on Subversion, and then he could play Fett and Emperor, or he could put like Fett and Krennic on Subversion. So like there might be a world where I put Obi-Wan and Dodonna's captured, so maybe I put Obi-Wan and Leia on the same mission here to make sure it goes through, but I do not. That's a little bit risky because again he could be on Subversion and then subvert with Boba Fett and block with Krennic and maybe kill plan the assault. So yeah, Dodonna being captured is not ideal here for this situation. And there's Boba on a mission. The good news is Emperor and Krennic are also on missions, but Piet also has intel and can block. So he could be going for a lot of probes and just saying, look, Wombat, go ahead and kill the Death Star. I'm gonna play 100 probe draw cards and then find out where your base is. And maybe I don't need the Death Star at that point. Or maybe he's assuming I don't have the plans, and because I don't have Dodonna, I'm not planning the assault. But we go with the Old Man Jedi, so even if he did block it, it would be 5 dice because Madine's there. I am bringing the Nebulon and 3 fighters. So the most damage he can roll here is 10 hits. The Nebulon can remove 2, so that's 8. So he would need to do 3 damage on each ship, which he plays the TIE Fighter card to give himself a chance. I did roll a heal, so that's going to be tough for him. Go for the Star Destroyer kill here would be pretty great. I mean, getting a Star Destroyer and the Death Star is pretty good, but instead I go for the fighters. I don't think that's right, but maybe it is. Okay, so he's got 1, 2... Yep, so heal 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. This is why the Nebulon card is so good, because I can heal one of these to full, and then it gets a shot at the Death Star. Now, Obi-Wan does not have 1 in a million, and this is what makes Wedge and Luke so good, if you have 1 in a million. But Obi-Wan is an old man, and old men have old man strength. So when in doubt, bring Obi-Wan, and no. That's a disaster. Okay, next up. So that was smart, I think, killing the TIE Fighters just in case this happened. I do have a block 2 hits card, so maybe he won't roll a crit. Dang. Big gamble on the Death Star. He does roll a crit, so I do take 1 damage. And that kills me. So there went the Death Star attempt. Okay. Would have loved to have that, but, taking a 50-50 shot is what it is. The Force was not with Obi-Wan. Worth it? I don't know. I don't know if I was going to have a better chance to kill the Death Star or not. We'll see how this game develops. But to me, my thought was, if I try to kill the Death Star with a sabotage, then he's moving to Utapau, and that doesn't feel very good. So now, because he didn't send a leader, he can just move everything to Celeste. And you'll notice he did capture Maydeen with a tractor beam, and so he lets Dodonna go. And Riken becomes Vader's target, which is fine. That's fine. Okay, now what? Not great. So I'm hoping I can pull the Death Star over to Endor at this point. But definitely feel like I got the wind kicked out of me a little bit here. Having the Death Star down puts a lot of pressure on the Empire, especially with 2 Mon Cals going into the base next. It means the Death Star would be out, and he's got to basically place this next Star Destroyer on the queue perfectly to have a shot at wiping out 2 Mon Cals. So, but sometimes it happens. This game, you can do everything quote unquote right and the dice can backfire on you. I'm not saying I did everything right by all means here. I'm not sure going after the Death Star there was a good idea, but I just couldn't foresee a situation where it was going to get better for me. Let me know in the comments if you would have made that play. I mean, I basically had a guarantee of a 50-50 roll on the Death Star, which is exactly what I got. And to me, that was worth two chances. So popular support or seize control. Now, I've moved the Nebulon, and I don't have an immediate idea as to where seize control would happen, but that's apparently what I'm going for, even though I have 5, 6 loyalty on the board already. I think that's wrong. And see, I could have held Long War, because I could have thrown the Death Star plans in there if this failed, and then gone to try to score No One Left Behind, which there's a chance to do at some point. I mean, I don't have a rescue now, but the idea of scoring the Death Star at this point is looking pretty grim with only a Y-Wing on the queue and no more Nebulons. All right, fair enough. Sabotage with the idea of seize control coming up. So I could see a couple of potentials. I could, sabotage Utapau might be okay. And then deploy some stuff, deploy the speeder in Geonosis with maybe the Mon Cal, and then go for Utapau next turn. A little bit sketchy there, but possible. Instead, I go for Seleucami. And okay, I think the idea there is I'm trying to, wow, okay. I rolled 2, he blocked it. I think the idea there is to try to prevent him from getting ATSTs, because I think I'm going to lean towards a ground game here, because my Nebulon and fighters are dead. Ground game maybe. The Death Star is 4 moves away from the base. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's already moved, which means he would need to move on turn 6, 7, 8, 9. And then kill it on the final move. So I really need to score 1, 2, 3 more objectives, assuming I don't kill the Death Star. Okay, Mothma with Alliance and Naboo. Kind of wild, Alliance and Naboo, I guess so. And then he must have an inkling that Ilum's a possibility here, because that's a big commitment for that Star Destroyer. Okay. So now it's like, do I deploy the Moncals and try to take out the Star Destroyer? Or do I deploy the speeder and the shield Jenny and just hope he can't crack it? I don't know. Okay, he ran a capture on Lando. Ugh, gross. Okay, lots of captures for Grant. That's not usually how he plays, so he's definitely throwing me off here a little bit. Okay, well, we've got propaganda, and so propaganda clears off 3 loyalties, so maybe it's good I didn't go for loyalty. Whew, Lord. Okay. Need to draw some good objectives here. He's got Piet left. Move to Nalhutta with his other Star Destroyer. Means he's probably not worried about Ryloth and Tatooine. Okay. That Star Destroyer is also 4 spaces away, 5 spaces away from the base. So the Death Star is really the closest spot here. And now with Seize Control, I could sabotage and incite rebellion. So that seems pretty reasonable. I like Wookiees potentially, although I don't have a leader that can run it. I mean, I do with Maydeen, I guess, if I take K2SO and put him on it. I also could take Undercover and forgo a leader, but that seems wrong. So I think K2SO is the logical one, and putting K2SO on Maydeen and then keeping Cassian. I'm super heavy duty on Intel. But Maydeen seems like the right choice here. He could host a Wookiee uprising. Yeah, okay. I also have Cassian's missions, so I can get some value out of Cassian too, even though he's kind of like a Dodonna for all intents and purposes. I guess he's like a cross between Dodonna with logistics. Better version of Dodonna, maybe. All right. Let's see where Grant puts these assault carriers. So here's choice of the game, really, right? Do I think that Star Destroyer is going to Ilum? If so, he's got a Star Destroyer and an Interdictor to deploy next turn. And I also have to, like, if I attack that Star Destroyer right away, I'm not gaining an objective. I probably am either eliminating or chasing that Star Destroyer away, right? He might have Piet. I mean, he might have Piet's deploy card. He would definitely move the Death Star to Cato. So I opt to put the Moncal and Bazooka Trooper in Naboo with the idea of going after Lando and freeing him. I put the speeder in the base, and then the shield bunker in the base. And then I keep my other 2 back because I guess I don't know why. I think I should put them in the base because I have a chance of killing that Star Destroyer if it wanders in, right? Like, it's not good to be blockaded. That Corvette's not killing the Star Destroyer, but maybe I think, look, I've got, I might have to relocate the base. Maybe I can put it in Ryloth or something, and I can join my Moncals up at that point. And I think my thought process was, if I go after that Star Destroyer right away, that guarantees Death Star to Cato. Maybe he pops a Secure the Plans. I have no fighters really on the queue, so I'm not threatening the Death Star with anything. And I don't have the objectives to score. So if I don't get lucky with a Ryloth Rapid, then it is what it is. And here's where something like under the radar can be really valuable, right? You could, if I had, say, Ryloth or something under the radar, I could, put everything in the base or put things in the base and then hidden fleet to the area where I have under the radar and then rapid and then put under the radar on top of the deck and then go there. Now that can backfire because he has more leaders than me and he has some intel, so he could run a probe mission to try to pick off the probe that I put at the top of the deck. But I have enough intel where I could block that. So this is the downside to not having rapid mobilized enough because I don't really know what's in the deck. So okay. I decide that I don't want to run Cassian's mission because I guess I'm short on logistics because Lando's captured. I'm going to rapid for 2. No. Yes. Rapid with 2. Infiltrate. Keep Leia back. Not run Cassian's mission. I think I'm really hoping to pull like Tat or Geonosis or Ryloth. But, man, I think I should only be, I don't know. Current me doesn't really agree with this. I think it's better to play, like, let's score something. Let's sabotage and then incite rebellion, right? We're not going to win by moving the base. We're going to win by scoring objectives. So I think current Wombat, modern day Wombat, let's call him, believes that the priority should be on scoring objectives. So I should be sabotaging with probably, I should probably open with a sabotage where Lando is and then attack. No, that's probably wrong. I should attack first and probably with like Obi-Wan, right? And then rapid later. Yeah, I think that's the right move because you have to attack first because you left the Mon Cal out there to get lasered by the Death Star. Maybe that's what I'm hoping, is that the Death Star is like, yay, let's go kill a Mon Cal and move away from the base. I don't like this. I don't like this strategy here. Because, yeah, like, why is he not going to kill my... Oh, okay, interesting. He did not. He just drew probes. So now I have to decide if I want to block the Emperor, which then locks my Mon Cal in place. Again, I could have Lando free and Lando in the base right now. Like, then if he attacks, I have a leader there. But alas. I mean, maybe I don't win that. That's a possibility too. But I'd at least have enough to play the Rogue One card to escape, I think. Yeah, because he's not going to kill my stuff. All right. Yeah, okay, so I let him drop robes. That feels bad. And I should be attacking right now. Like, why else did I put that? Lord. All right. Another Death Star plans an uprising right after he propaganded. Again, would love to have Long War, but I do not. Well, not anymore. Okay, he's going to draw another probe and then discard a card out of my hand, which feels bad. Okay. Yeah, Incite Rebellion seems right. Like, why are we Wookiee uprising? Well, here's the sabotage, and now we can just block it because we didn't do it with Medine. Okie dokie. Wombat. No more seize control for you. And now he's going to retrieve the plans. None of this needed to happen. I mean, maybe the answer is even, yeah, because I had Rogue One, right? So I could have attacked in with everything. He could have killed both my troops. I could have played Rogue One, escaped with the ships, And now he's going to get rid of seize control and leave me with the Death Star plan. So he's totally not worried about my objectives at this point and has all the time in the world. All right. That's okay. I assume he's holding on to the Vader, it's your destiny card to block a rescue. Otherwise, why wouldn't you have Vader on the plans instead of Krennic's Finest on Retrieve the Plans? So a rescue would not have worked for Lando, but Rogue One does. So even if I don't kill everything there, I still can retreat and save Lando and then not get retrieved for my only good objective. All right, move on with life. We know Uprising is coming up, I guess. So, all right, now we're not even attacking. We're just going back to Geonosis. That's great. Now we're going to check the fringes, right? Which probably means Ilum too. So checking Hoth, not in Hoth. I guess Wookiees and then build in, like, not Kato. Build in Geonosis, okay. Check Ilum, sure. See what you bring. Everything. Fun. That's great. Bases in Ilum. Good thing I don't have anything to kill Star Destroyer here. All right, so I opted for shield bunkers and a shield bunker and yep, so I'll take all my combat cards back. Yeah, I take confrontation back. I do. Why? Am I going to kill tag? Do I care about that? Good lord. All right, let's block hits. Try to keep this thing alive, do some damage. Would have been way better if there were Moncals there, but that's okay. Maybe this is right. Having 4 speeders is a formidable defense. And then here's the thing, like the shield bunker card is really powerful. I can just keep dropping that on the table and doing damage because shield bunkers can remove up to 3 damage. So you can remove 2 and the shield bunker stays alive, and then you can remove damage from another shield bunker later. And like having 2 shield bunkers is a giant pain. Okay, he blocks hits. That's a smart play, I think. So he does a lot of damage. Okay. Okay, and I can remove 3 damage. I should only remove 1 from the speeder. Yep, 1 from the speeder, the Vanguard, and the troop. Or just the Vanguard? Okay, so I'm staying at, because having another troop doesn't add another dice, and then I have the chance to heal the shield bunker with another shield bunker card. No, I don't do that. I think I should have done that. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So now I can heal my shield bunker and put 2 damage on it. There we go. Okay, so by doing that, it worked. I rolled a heal. I can now heal my shield bunker all the way up to 1 damage. And kill a couple of troops. A 3rd troop. 2 troops. All 3 troops. Oh yeah, he blocks 2. So I just get 1 and then can kill the tank or something. He blocks the red. Yep. So I can do 2 troops or a troop and a tank. So we'll do a troop and a tank. That's fine because the shield bunkers are red damage. All right. Cancel his card. So he's not blocking hits. Oh no, I don't. I say you do what you want. You're not rolling. All right, so he's going to block hits, and I roll first because he flipped the combat. Get 1 damage. Okay, he rolls a heal. Fine. Okay, I take 2 cards back. No, 1. Yeah, 2 cards back. So take them both. Nope, nope. Take the other one. Oh man, Wombat not paying attention. Okay, he flips the combat and I remove damage. Fine. I can still take advantage of a red heal, which I roll. Very nice. Okay, I got a black hit, which is nice. And we'll re-roll 1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right. That's probably right. Overkill 1. All right. He rolls. Yeah. Okay. Everything I hit is dead, and he's got 5 damage. So I remember this part here. This is a little odd because I'm assuming how he's going to assign damage. But the correct thing for him to do is to assign damage first because he might want to drop like 4 damage on the Vanguard, for example. So I shouldn't just assume he's going to evenly damage everything. But yeah. So good habits here, fellas, is let him assign damage first and then remove it afterwards because he's saying I want to assign 3 on the Vanguard, 1 on a troop. Oh, okay. So 2 on Vanguard, 1 on each, and then we decide what to heal. So I'll probably heal the 3 guys. Now I should have taken the Vanguard card because then I'd have a nice damage card to play here, but alas. Okay. Okay, and now he's retreating. Okay. Back to Megiddo. The base is revealed, so I cannot rapid there anymore, and now I have a Moncal permanently stuck in Geonosis. And I mean, I'm going to Wookiee Uprising, so I'll get another one deployed in Kashyyyk unless he decides to subjugate it, which he can. So, it's not great. But maybe I have a good rapid here. But even if I do I move it? Like, do I want to move closer to the Death Star? Let's see where he moves, I guess. Okay. Oh, he does have secured the plans. Maybe I missed that from earlier. I broke up my recording into a couple of streams, so maybe he secured the plans last round or something and I missed it. So the Death Star is like a nightmare for me. It doesn't matter. I don't have any fighters to kill it anyway. And now, yep, rather than commit the Death Star, he just covers Bespin, forces me to make a rapid decision because he knows he's not threatened by my objectives. And let's see what we get here. Dantooine bad, Bespin bad, Hoth bad, Bothawui bad, Kashyyyk bad, Geonosis, okay, like maybe, Cato, Malastare. So he's got 2 AT-ATs right outside of Megiddo, and he's about to deploy more. So Cato feels bad, Malastare feels bad, right? Is it Geonosis where my stuff is? Maybe. But if it is, all those speeders are just stuck on Ilum forever. The other idea here is I play the long game for Geonosis, right? I put all these on the bottom of the deck, and then I wait a turn or two, and I try to wrap it at that point. Like I try to survive the AT-ATs with the shield bunker and the 4 speeders, and then do another rapid for 8 and hope that Geonosis pops up. So I'm like, maybe the Death Star moves to Kato at that point, and then it's an extra space away because we're about to go to turn 6 here, right? And then, I mean, Uprising, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to get to Uprising having lost so much loyalty already. What other play do I have? I'm not getting the Death Star. I'm not getting Uprising. So I have to last as long as possible. So I think the right move here is to put everything on the bottom and play the long game for Geonosis. That's what I think right now. What do you think? We are at timestamp an hour and a minute. Let me know what you would do in the comment section. I'm really interested here. There are 5 probes on top of the deck, meaning if I run rapid back to back with 2 leaders on there, at most I have to survive. Well, this would be the biggest survive I have to do because he's going to deploy 2 ATSTs and he'll have like a interdictor or whatever in Ord, like to shuttle everything. So, or a Star Destroyer. So he'll have a ATST come from there, and he'll have probably 2 more come from. I mean, can 4 speeders in a bunker fight off 2 walkers and 4 or 5 ATSTs? I don't think so. But I think I have to try. Because if I move, I mean, most of those places he already knows about that I saw. So he's going to process of elimination pretty quickly and just walk the Death Star up to Naboo. And then, like, am I going to try to take it down with the U-Wing? I don't know. So that's my plan. I'm going to play hard for another rapid to Geonosis. Or maybe I get lucky and draw like Ryloth or something here. I do have kind of a nice deploy here. I can drop a couple in Naboo. I can drop a couple more in Geonosis. I can go free Lando. That all feels pretty good. If he overcommits to Ilum and doesn't take it, then I'm feeling pretty good. So that's the play. Two in Kashyyyk. I should drop probably the transport and a troop in Naboo so I can potentially go get Lando. And if he really wants to kill the transport, he can, because the first thing I'm going to have to do is rapid to get Obi-Wan into ground combat in Ilum. Oh, wait, I moved. Did I move? I moved. Did I move to Geonosis? Yeah. See, I don't think that's what I should have done. All right. Welcome to Crazy Land. I was not really rusty when I played this game. I was on a really good streak, so I was feeling pretty confident there. Yeah, maybe that was my assessment. Maybe my assessment was 4 speeders does not take out 5 walkers. Like maybe that's right. He comes in with Krennic's Finest, has Bombard, has the ATST card. He's at the top of his combat cards again. Maybe. Yep, there we go. Shield Bunker and Rhodia. So Shield Bunker and Rhodia with the Rote deck. Now I have to be worried about Imperial Might on top of everything else. So as unlikely as I think it was to make a stand in Ilum, I think that's actually my best play. Also, should have run Cassian's card last turn, so maybe I would have something here, although I don't know what in God's name I would use. If I could have anything in the book, apparently I'm thinking about a hidden fleet here. I mean, okay. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. I remember the mind state I was in here, and it was very hopeless feeling for sure. I mean, let's be honest, this does not look like a very winnable game right now. But even when things are feeling hopeless, it's important to look at the small things you can pick up. Like there's always going to be opportunities for little wins here. And in Rebellion, when playing the bad guys, by bad guys I mean the Rebel Alliance. So when playing the bad guys, you've got to look for small victories. Um, a good example of that is, rather than just plunking a single trooper out on a planet that is just going to get overrun by the Empire, do what you can to try to get something out of that troop instead, right? Try to save it so you can get an objective scored, so you can pick up a little victory. Take out an assault carrier with a Y-wing, sabotage something that you plan on attacking later, deploy in a way that's thoughtful that can put you into a space where you can score objectives later. A game of Gate Rebellion is definitely a game of inches, and when you start to lose hope, you start to just play like you're going to lose instead of playing like you're going to win. So there's my Rebellion advice and my life advice for you all. Now, that being said, let's figure out what Grant is doing here, or TNG, which stands for the not Grant. Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. This is not actually Grant playing. It's the not Grant, which probably means it's Dubes. I'm on to you, Dubes. All right. But Dubes doesn't play Empire. Okay, so the not Grant is got Imperial Might with Tarkin and Krennic. Probably like Planetary with Krennic's Finest, and like Rule by Fear or something with the Emperor. All right, we're going to try to free Lando. Now that it's much more difficult to free Lando, we're going to try to free Lando. And let's just bring one single guy. Why? Because we're Rogue One-ing? Oh my god, you're a monster. Piet with no escape. Why did I bring the Moncals there? You know what? This move surprised me when I played him originally, and it surprised me again because last turn I was thinking about doing this and I was like, oh, he's got Vader there, but that doesn't protect against Rogue One. Oh, very nice play. So now my Moncals are completely out of scope. I mean, they're just sitting over here in La La Land. And now he's going to Imperial Might into um, Rhodia, and then he's just going to crush Geonosis, which has got three troops there. Oh, Lord. I love it. What a move, Grant. Oh, very good. I mean, look, 2 Monkels, they probably could have fought off 4 assault carriers or 3 assault carriers if they needed to. But, yeah. And Grant is going to be very disciplined here. He knows I can only be on 1 hit and run, so 2 assault carriers is enough. Now, he doesn't know that I'm not on Uprising, so it's a little dangerous to not just check Geonosis right away. But, Malastare is an option, right? So was Kashyyyk. So he's going to check Kashyyyk. He's going to deploy in Kato. That means he's probably also going to move to Malastare. Hmm. My hope here is to just kind of pull out combat cards from him, but he's not taking the bait. He played the 1 red damage card. Okay. Okay, 2 hits, no hits. Wookiees went down without a fight. Secret mission feels like it's not going to be enough right now, Cassian. We'll play it in Geonosis. Things that would have been useful to me earlier. Take Uprising, take Rogue Squadron Raid, probably. Or I guess No One Left Behind, or Daring Rescue. No, we're taking objective, like steal the plans, because I need to try to get something scoreable. Yep, checking Malastare is smart with Toydaria. Okay. That just leaves one big check for Geonosis, probably, unless he just moves the Death Star up to Naboo. But I don't think he'll risk that because if I were, I don't know what I would have done if I were him. We'll see. Sabotage, fine. Vader to Geonosis, and there it is. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a loss. So if you have not watched Game 2, which was posted there earlier, please watch Game 2. But for Game 1, I am 0-1. So this is a best of 3 series. If Grant wins the next one, then I will drop to the losers bracket. And or as we are calling it in this PC world, the lower bracket. So the lower bracket, I will play Jim, who I think I have beat earlier in this tournament, although maybe that was just a casual game, I don't remember. So it'll be best of 3 against Jim, and then the winner of Jim and I. Oh, did I just spoil it? Yeah, all right. Well, there we go. Spoiler alert. So anyway, if I ruined that, sorry. Watch the second game. It's great. Very close. Very key decisions being made in there. And then, so having lost 2 back-to-back to Grant, Grant will proceed forward and play 8-7-II in the top bracket finals. And then I will play Jim, best of 3. And then the winner of Jim and I will play Piotr, who is a compatriot over on the east side, or on the other side of the world in Europe. And if I beat Piotr and I beat Jim, I'll need to win 4 games there to do that. then I will play the winner of Grant or II or 87II in a best of 5 series. And if I beat them there, then I need to defeat them again a second time in a best of 5. So there is a wild world where, and this is making a lot of assumptions, so I'm not making any judgments of the players I have to play ahead of me. They're all very good. If I happen to get back with Grant in the finals, I will need to beat Grant 10 times, a 10 game playoff. So there could be a whole lot of games here. Now the hilarious part is whenever Grant and I play, we often play like 3 games in a row. So we'll play a game of Rebellion and then like 2 games of War of the Ring. So after this game here that I'm playing with him right now ended, I think we played 2 games of War of the Ring right afterwards. So, there's a chance that maybe he and I just book the whole weekend and we play 6 games at least back to back, because I plan on winning all 6 in a row. So if you're here for the Rebellion, as long as I manage to defeat my next difficult opponent, who is Jim, and Piotr, who is another very difficult opponent after that, then I might get the ability to play in the finals. So we'll see. Thank you guys for watching and your support. If you have not yet done it, please like and subscribe. It really helps me. I'm up to about 1,400 viewers, which has been really cool. Some of you like to join the stream. I know I have some Dracula players that watch my videos. I appreciate you guys for checking this out. I think I have a couple War of the Ring players that like it too, but by and large, you guys are all Rebellion folks. So, I'm happy to have you here. This channel started out pretty small. We're almost to 1,500 subscribers, which is real nice. So I appreciate that. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and all those things that the younger generations like to say. And this old man is signing out for the night. Good night, all.